listening to the Horror Shots Podcast.
Hello again, and welcome to another Horror Shots Podcast with me, Casey. As always, thank you for listening and supporting this cast, and I do apologize for missing last week. However, I am excited to share with you this week's episode. Last week, you may remember I had Kristen Zaza on for the Women in Horror Month. Well, this week I do have another interview for you. This cast features an actor, producer, convention runner, and all-around horror aficionado. His name is Jesse Markowski, and his convention, Fresh Kills Con, is going into its inaugural year. So I'm here with Jesse Markowski, who is running the new convention in Niagara Falls, Fresh Kills Con. How's it going, Jesse?
Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Just happy to be on here.
Awesome. Yeah, so thanks for reaching out again. I love talking to people about all things horror, as you may have guessed from the podcast. So yeah, tell us about Fresh Kills Con.
All right. So Fresh Kills Con, we're going to be having it in the falls. It's going to be a really good time. As far as what we were going for, we've been to Shock Stock a lot of times, and we were going to try and go for a more intimate gathering like what they have. I don't know if we're going to get as wild as they are, because that is the wildest and greasiest time this side of the border. But I think we're going to try our best. But it's not going to be in some big convention hall. We have it in more of an intimate setting because we do want people to be able to interact with all of the celebrities that we do have coming out, and the vendors and the artists and everyone else who is making an appearance. And actually, our bands are going to be coming out and doing a little thing at the convention as well. But we really just mainly wanted to bring that closeness back to it, instead of just standing in a line for an hour and then meeting somebody for 2 seconds. It's like we want to give you time to actually interact and just have a good time, because that's what it's about.
Right. So your guests and stuff, they're going to be kind of out in the open, sort of thing?
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, that's kind of how it was at Horrorama. Did you go to Horrorama this year?
I never made it to Horrorama this year. I was out of town.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I really like that atmosphere of it. A really cool setup.
Oh, but those are a bunch of good guys over there too.
Yeah.
Everybody that we've talked to from the different conventions have just been amazing. We just started talking with the guys from Horrorama, but talking with the guys from Shock Stock, London Comic Con, Astronomicon over in Detroit, and everybody's just been so welcoming and helpful. Awesome.
Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed about the horror community, especially the indie horror community, is that they're very open.
Oh, absolutely.
I interviewed Kristen Zaza, who runs a podcast. She met her at Horrorama, and she said the exact same thing. Everybody who she's ever talked to has been nothing but helpful and opening, open-armed towards advice or getting her out there, stuff like that. In terms of the con, though, what got you interested in starting your own? With there being, huge ones out there already and smaller ones and niche ones or whatever, what kind of got you into it?
Right. So my partner Sean, he initially had the idea of starting a horror con, and again, I've always been into horror, and I've always loved the genre and the conventions and that. And so as soon as he came to me with the idea, I said absolutely. And he was initially going to start one, and then some things happened and he never ended up getting involved with it at that time, but another one did come up in its absence. So now that we actually have the time and the means to do so, we're deciding to throw our hat in the ring and definitely to be able to do one right.
Right.
And that's the main thing. We want to do one right. We want to do one for the fans instead of for the money, and that's the most important part to us.
I agree. That's a good mentality to go into it. Because, obviously, it is sort of a business, and you got to do it for your own interests as well. But if you can do something that kind of makes everybody happy, you're golden.
Right.
So are tickets on sale now?
Tickets are on sale. You can grab them over at freshkillscon.com. And Yeah, we have links to that as well on our Facebook and our Instagram and our Twitter. Definitely follow us on all of them, of course. But the Facebook is where you're going to get the majority of your news. We're constantly on there, like every day, every couple days, putting up new things to look at, talking and like promoting other conventions or artists or it's definitely looking at us on Facebook is the best way to go, and all the information still makes it to the website. But the website is ultimately where you could buy your tickets or fill out vendor applications. If there are any vendors around that are still looking, we do have some spots available as well. So definitely reach out to us for that.
And what kind of vendors are you looking for? Just anybody who has anything to do with horror, or do you have a specific sort of criteria you're looking for?
Oh no! If you have anything to do with horror and you think that you could sell it at our convention, definitely come out. Like we're not trying to keep anybody out. That's for sure. We're just if you'd like to, just definitely apply. We look over the applications, and I don't think we've had to reject anybody.
Awesome. Well, like you said, it's all open and inclusive, right?
Right.
Awesome. Tell me more about the venue. You said it's a smaller, intimate style place. What does that entail? So similar to Shockstock, them doing it at the Ramada, we're doing it at the Best Western Carencroft, and that'll be on Lundy's Lane in Niagara Falls. Okay. So it's right up the hill from where the falls are and all the action's going on. The hotel also connects into a big pub that is on Lundy's Lane called Doc McGilligan's. Okay. And so we actually have both of those places as our venue. Nice. So we're in Doc's. It's going to be more, we're going to have like our little film festival there and some other things going on at Doc's. I don't think we're going to have any vendors in there per se, but that's where most of our events will be going on. Right. Yeah. Right. So any shows it might be going on or things like that. Mm-hmm. Cool. So what kind of vendors do you have going on now? Anybody that my listeners might recognize? So as far as vendors go, right now we have Blockheads coming out. We have Hollywood Canteen, Toronto native. Rotten Rags, which have definitely done their circuit as far as the conventions go. D&K Barbarian Jerky is going to be there. And we have the illustrator Steve McGinnis behind Terrifier and Rise the Harvester. He's going to come out too. Cool. But yeah, we have some other stuff on the go too, and it's definitely going to be exciting anyway. Well, no doubt. You mentioned before when we were talking, this is the first time for it, right? Yes. So, I mean, the excitement level's got to be through the roof. Yeah. On our website as of now, sitting at about 120% for Saturday and Sunday mayhem. Okay. Cool. So we're ready. You're ready. That's awesome. You do have a couple of guests lined up. Some you can talk about, some you can't talk about. How about the ones you can talk about? Who's going to be there? Are they going to be doing panels, any talks, or just kind of like meet and greets? Okay. Well, I'll talk about Tom Matthews. Okay. So Tom Matthews is coming out. Obviously played Tommy Jarvis in Friday the 13th Part 6. He was in Return of the Living Dead as well. And he's going to be coming out. We're going to be doing some meet and greets, autographs, things like that. But we also have a dinner with him. And I'm not sure if we've announced it yet. Either way, if we haven't, this is the first you're going to hear of it. Awesome. So yeah. So as far as Tom Matthews goes, we're going to have a dinner. It's going to be 13 people, including Tom, and his wife will be coming out as well. 13 for Friday the 13th. Yeah. So 11 guests will get to come out. You get to have dinner with Tom, rub elbows with him. It's a private, like little quaint area of Doc McGilligan's pub. There's a special menu that's going to be set for it as well. And tickets will be on sale for that soon. And it's definitely something cool to check out because Tom's such a cool guy and he's really in it for the fans, right? So he's any questions that you have, whatever, definitely a good place to go for that. And again, like I've never seen anything with a dinner with Tom Matthews before. So, right. So those are going to be tickets on sales, a first come first serve, or how's that going to work? It's going to be first come first serve, but the VIPs that for the event are also have first crack at that. But yeah.
So as far as tickets for that though, yeah, if you are interested in having dinner with Tommy Jarvis from Friday the 13th Part 6, definitely buy them. Get involved in that because that's going to be a good time.
Awesome. Another thing you have, I noticed on your website, talk about Scares That Cure, the charity you have going on with the event.
Scares That Care.
Yeah, care. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't read my own writing, apparently.
No worries. Yeah, Scares That Care.
Yes.
So
that makes more sense.
yeah, so those guys are terrific. We were looking for a charity to kind of go along with us because again, we're not really doing it for the money. We're doing it for the community, and now we're able to do it for the horror community, which is like one step up from what we were aiming for, which is pretty amazing.
Right.
But some of the places that we did approach in the beginning, nobody wanted to get involved with us because of the name of our convention, which I can understand to a point.
Fair enough.
But yeah, Scares That Care. I sent them an email, and Joe got back to me. He gave me a call probably 2 days later when I was down in Florida, and he just told me, he said, you know what? I looked over your convention. He's like, we'd love to get involved with you. He's like, it's good to see that you're actually supporting the horror community because he's like, we're all one big family, and that's exactly the way we feel too. And yeah, he proceeded to tell me about the charity and all the people that they've helped and all the people that they're planning on helping and where the money goes and how thorough they are with all that. And that it all sounded like too good to be true. It sounded amazing. And so he got back to me a little bit later, and a few days ago, we were finally able to announce that they were coming down for the convention. So they're going to be coming up from Virginia. They're going to have their table at the convention. And it wasn't actually until we went to Astronomicon, probably about a week ago now, a week and a half, that we realized what a big thing that we just got ourselves into. Because we started walking around and we were talking to some of the other celebs there. Mm-hmm. Like we were hanging out with Ari Mihailov, we were hanging out with Kane Hodder, and oh yeah, Bill Mosley, Sid Haig, all those guys. And
right.
At the moment that we mentioned Scares That Care, our eyes just got wide, and we were like, "Oh, okay." and they talked to us. They're like, "Oh, well, you know what? That's probably gonna make you guys really successful this year." And I was like, "Oh man, okay, maybe we should look into this a bit more." But yeah, no, really awesome guys, and we're so happy to have Scares That Care on board with us.
So what's
as far as their role,
yeah,
they're going to be coming out and. Like they're going to be doing their own thing there, doing a bit of promo and stuff like that, checking out our con. But as far as what we have for them is we're doing a charity auction, like a silent auction. And all the proceeds from that are going to go straight to Scares That Care. Nice. So we're collecting donations around, seeing what we can get as far as what to auction off right now. We're also throwing in a few things of our own. Aside from that, we're also going to be donating a portion of our profits from like what we actually make at the end directly to Scares That Care as well. Nice. And yeah, we're going to see how much we can do for them. And but it's as of now, it looks like we're going to be able to do pretty good.
That's awesome.
Oh, and for one of the contracts for somebody that we might be having coming out, which I can't speak too much about, but what I will say is beyond their guarantee, we're asking them that 25% of whatever they make beyond that goes directly to Scares That Care.
Awesome. And I'm sure they'll agree to that. I mean,
I don't see why they wouldn't. No.
Yeah, that's awesome. And this just kind of harkens back to the horror community is a big family. And you mentioned that when you're describing what the Scares That Care does.
Yes.
And it's just great to see that. And when people hear about horror, they don't think about that. They think about some shit getting slashed up by the guy in the mask, right?
Yes.
They don't think about the community involved. And if you ever look at any credits, even maybe excluding some like high Hollywood A-list movies or whatever, the credits all read the same. The same people are involved in a lot of these movies, especially dating back, to the 80s and 70s. and it just carries over, especially into the indie scene.
Right.
And it's just great to see.
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned to me before, though, kind of going off topic of the con a little bit, going to get to know
No worries.
you. You said you and your partner have produced some movies in the past. Is that something?
Not my partner, but a good friend of mine who is he's going to be involved in this as well.
Okay.
It's my buddy Frank Pop, and he's made the movie Mulch. That one. You could find all of his work on YouTube as well, because he's had some offers in the past about people buying films and things like that from him, rights. But why would you sell it to somebody just for it to sit in a warehouse somewhere and never be seen by anyone?
Yeah, that's true.
So it's on YouTube, free for everyone to see. So there's Mulch, the movie. Mm-hmm. That one was a lot of fun, but that was his first real big one, right. And it took probably about 6 to 8 years to complete. But that one was it's definitely a fun thing to watch. Like a lot of gore, just a horror comedy, right?
Right.
But since then, we've been doing shorts.
Okay.
So we did for people around like the London area, on that everyone knows Bob Noxious. We did the music video Halloween Baby, and in that I'm the demon. So if anyone's ever seen that music video, yeah, that's me. We also did 37% Pure Evil. I'm the killer in that one. Again, another horror comedy, and that one was tons of fun too. But Halloween Baby has actually done quite its little film circuit, and it's won awards from like California Underground to South Africa, and wow. It's actually done really well for itself.
Awesome.
But, yeah, that one was badass. But yeah, Bob just called up Frank the one day, and he's like, I need a music video done. And he's like, so Frank said, well, what do you want it like? He said, he's like, just make it as much like Evil Dead as you can. And so that's Frank's favorite movie. And he's like, oh yeah, he's like, we could do that. So we just did that up. But yeah, Frank, now they have a series on YouTube called Blood, Guts, and Booze, where they review movies and get hammered, and
right.
It's actually really, really good. So we're going to be on there coming up closer to the convention as well. And they are going to also be at our convention. We haven't discussed the capacity yet, but we have a few things in mind that you definitely want to look forward to.
Nice. Now, the most important thing about any convention is the after party.
Yes.
What's going on? Give me the deets.
All right. Well, as far as the after party goes, it's going to be over at Taps, which is just over on Queen Street in Niagara Falls, and it's a brewery there. So already we have a good venue going. But we're going to have 3 bands coming out. We're going to have Blood Opera,
okay,
who dress up like the zombies from Return of the Living Dead, the punk zombies. And if you were at Shockstock last year, you would have seen them play.
Okay.
Besides that, we have Mineta, and they tend to dress up like clowns, but they put on a pretty wild show. And the Electric Dead is our other band that's coming out, and those guys are freaking awesome. If you've never heard them play, they're definitely got to come and check those guys out too. And I believe Electric Dead and Blood Opera are also going to be in Niagara in mid-March for a show as well. I think they're going to be there. And I'm not sure if it's, I'm not going to spoil it just in case I don't know who's coming out. But aside from that, we have Phoenix Fire doing their classic Stranger Danger thrill show right in the middle of that too.
Cool. And
those tickets are on sale right now as well. And that's the Fresh Kills Con after party. You'll be able to find that on Facebook as well. Our friend Jillian Underhill, she books a lot of bands in Toronto and in Niagara and all that. And she's taking care of a lot of that for us. And we're so thankful that she came on board to help us with that. And tickets are on sale for that. I believe it's $10 and $15 at the door.
Okay.
Yep.
That's for
a
show like that.
Oh, and it's going on. I think we're going to probably start somewhere around 8 p.m. And I don't think we have a definite close yet, but somewhere between 1 and 2 they're going to be playing till.
Right.
So it's going to be
pretty much.
It's going to be a good show, and that'll be on July 13th.
That's the Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, is there anything else you wanted to mention, throw out there? The floor is yours.
All right. Well, I will talk about the first sponsor that we got before, and that was Shudder.
Okay.
And for anyone who doesn't know what Shudder is, it's like Netflix, but only horror films. Yep. And Shudder is, they're amazing. And I talked to some guys before who have tried to deal with them, and they've just had they've said, oh yeah, we got a little bit, and then we just got ghosted. And so I was like, oh, well, okay, I'm still going to try.
Yeah.
So, because I've been subscribed to them since the very first day they came to Canada. I bought it right away. And so anyways, I sent an email out. They connected me not to the people that I was supposed to be connected to, I believe, but I was connected to the guy who does all their marketing and stuff at AMC.
Okay.
The network that owns them. So I was like, oh, okay. And I didn't realize I was talking to him till after. But so anyways, we started going back and forth, shooting the breeze. And I asked him, I said, well, would you guys be able to donate anything to help us out and everything? And he's like, and they were just so happy to come forward with that. And so for Scares That Care, they're going to be giving out 10 1-year subscriptions to Shudder. We're also working out some other stuff for the convention for that. But another thing, if for any potential vendors out there who are listening to this, Shudder has kindly gifted us with a promo code that every vendor will get for 1 month free of the service.
Nice.
So that was pretty cool.
Incentive.
Yes, a little bit of an incentive. Oh, and you get free tickets to the after party. So that's
even better. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, aside from that, as far as anything else, just make sure to keep following us on Facebook. We have new news coming out all the time. We have some really big stuff planned, and that's going to be released soon. Aside from that, make sure to keep up on the website. The website's going to have that, and I definitely, if you are interested in coming out, buy the tickets now. You save $5 from at the door, and yeah, they're available on freshkillscon.com.
Awesome. Well, Jesse, thanks for coming on and talking about this. It was amazing to hear all about it and get some inside information.
Oh, no. Thank you for having me on, Casey. It's been awesome.
Let's not go Canadian here to start thanking each other all over the place. But it was a really great time chatting with you. And again, that's Fresh Kills Con taking place the July 13th weekend, 2019. So make sure you check it out. Get those tickets early because from what I gather, it's going to sell out pretty quickly once the guest list starts coming in and filling out a lot more. So get your tickets early, like now. Once again, thank you, Jesse, for doing this interview with me. I always love having new and interesting people on the podcast. It adds a whole new element, and I think everybody who listens does enjoy it. Now, of course, if you are a horror fan, you have to check out this convention. That's Fresh Kills Con. The July 13th weekend of 2019 is their first year. From what he's told me, they've got a lot of special things lined up. Not a lot that they can announce just yet, but it's still 5 months out. So get your tickets now before they sell out like Thanos snap quick. And if you do want to find out more information, do check out their website at freshkillscon.com or their Facebook page or their Twitter or any social media that they do have up. I believe they have a YouTube channel as well. So check them out, see what it's all about, and get your tickets now. It's going to be a great time. Hopefully I'll be able to make it. I have it planned, I have it scheduled into my calendar that I will be there. I don't know if I'll be a vendor, but I'll be there in some aspect, hopefully. Of course, if you do like this podcast, drop a review. They help the little guy like me get some discoverability out there. So if you do like it, drop a review. Of course, you can ask me anything you want. If you want to be a part of the podcast in any way, shoot me an email or a message through any of my social media platforms. That's Instagram at Horror Shots Photography, Twitter at Horror Shots Pod, or my website at horrorshots.com. Of course, Facebook as well, and Patreon. So Facebook is facebook.com/horrorshots, and Patreon is patreon.com/horrorshots. Pretty simple to remember. So until next time, maybe I'll have a new guest. Maybe I'll go back to My Look into Death, or even the history of demons. We'll see what next week brings. Until then.